Thank you, Reverend. The House will come to order. Please join our very own Representative Pico in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Shebel, please call the roll.
Representatives Amabile, Bacon, Baisley. No, just Woodrow today. Baisley's excused. Benavidez. Burnett. You see Burnett? Okay. Representative Burnett is excused. Byrd. Bockenfeld. Basenecker. Bradfield. Caravale. Carver. Catlin. I definitely saw him. Catlin's here. Cutter. Doherty. Duran. Representative Duran. Oh, I did too. Is excused. Esgar.
Here.
Exum. Representative Exum? I haven't seen him yet. What did I do for him? Did I just excuse him? Exum's excused. Froelich. Geithner. Gonzalez Gutierrez. Gray. Hanks. Herod. Holtorf. Hooton. I know I saw Hooton somewhere. Judah. Kennedy. Kip. Larson. Lindsay. Fontaine. Luck. Lynch. McCluskey. McCormick. McKean. McLaughlin. Michelson Janae. Mullica. Neville. Ortiz.
Here.
Pelton. Okay. Pico. Ransom. Rich. Ricks. Roberts. Sandridge. Sirota. Snyder. Soper.
I like to swim. I like to dance.
Representative Soper. Okay. Soper's excused. Sullivan. Tipper. Titone. Valdez A. Valdez D.
Did you see the
Good morning, Colorado.
Van Beber.
news that this morning, the cover
Van Winkle.
of the Colorado Politics?
Weissman. Will.
They email you?
Williams.
Here.
Woodrow is excused. Woog. Young. And Mr. Speaker.
Baisley's here.
Baisley's here. Okay.
Thank you.
With 61 present and 4 excused, we have a quorum. Representative Pico.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the Journal of Friday, as corrected by the Chief Clerk, be adopted.
think that was close, Representative Pico, to the right motion. But that's fine, it's Monday. Members, you have heard the motion that the journal be corrected or be approved as corrected by the chief clerk. All those in favor say aye. That was really good. All those opposed, no.
Oh!
That was better than Friday. But the ayes still have it. The motion is adopted. Brings us to announcements and introductions. Representative Harrod.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of the Appropriation Committee, listen up. Appropriations. We will be meeting tomorrow for our first appropriations meeting ever this year at 8 a.m. tomorrow morning in a room that will be printed in your calendar, which I'm assuming will be the Old State Library. 8 a.m. tomorrow, we will be going over the supplemental package, which will be on your desk and printed by this afternoon and also in your box. It is on your desk now.
Representative Byrd.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, if it is Monday, it is finance. And I'm so excited. Today at 1:30 in House Committee Room 112, we will be hearing the following bills. House Bill 1014, House Bill 1025, House Bill 1083, and House Bill 1117. I will see you there.
Representative McCormick.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today, we have two opportunities to participate in our Ag Committee. First, upon adjournment, we have the Joint Senate Agriculture and Natural Resources and House Agriculture and Livestock and Water Committee to hear from our JBC, and that is going to be in the Old State Library. Then at 1:30 p.m. in room 107, the House Agriculture, Livestock and Water Committee will meet to hear a presentation on the Platte Valley Water Partnership, as well as to hear House Bill 22-1072. We'll see you then. Thanks.
Representative Montini and Representative Harrod. Representative Montini.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Representative Harrod and I are here to announce a product drive for period products and diapers, including for babies and for adults. We are starting our drive today here in the building. You can take them to my office in 332, but we also have some great organizations that people outside the building can send them to.
Representative Harrod.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And I mentioned this earlier, but I wanted to say thank you to the Speaker for so graciously volunteering to take in all of the period products. You can set them on the dais or also in the Speaker's office. And as well as the diaper products, especially the elder diaper products. But no, just that's not true. But Mr. we have done this in the past where the Speaker was able to house all of those products, but they will actually be in Representative Lontine's office. We will then distribute them to organizations across the metro area. And members, it's a really great idea. I hear all the chuckles. It's a really great idea to encourage folks in your own districts to provide period products and diapers where folks need them, especially in your food banks and in your schools, because it is the #1 product being requested right now. So please do bring your products that you have to Representative Lontine's office. Feel free to compete with the Speaker for the most boxes donated. I know he's got a lot that he is willing to give, and just give generously. Thanks.
Competition's on. Representative McLaughlin.
Challenge accepted.
Representative McLaughlin.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm going to be talking education, and although sometimes in education we talk about punctuation, we do not have any period bills coming up in education this time, so I thought I'd let you know. Not yet, but the year is still young. So we are not meeting Wednesday, but on Thursday we are listening to 3 bills, 1019, 1049, and 1057. We'll see you there. Thanks.
Thanks. Representative Kennedy.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members of House, State, Civic, Military, and Veterans Affairs will be meeting at 1:30 today in LSB-A to hear House Bill 1130 and House Bill 1128.
Representative Holtorf.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just want to introduce a guest to the Capitol. I have a constituent from Washington County. He's up in the gallery right now. He has come forth wanting to see the wheels of state government in motion and is here to try to help close the rural-urban divide. So I've asked Representative Gray to please meet with him as soon as we are here so we can talk about how we can do that with our urban cousins. So he's up there, and if you could wave, please. Larry Hill. He's here from my hometown in rural Colorado. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. And Mr. Hill, welcome to the People's House. I hope you enjoy your day. Further announcements and or introductions. I think what we're going to do is we do have a moment of silence planned for Pat Teagarden, but some of the liaisons are in the Senate. They're going to be coming over here. So before we do that, I know we have some introductions that we need to do, but before... Okay, but we still have an announcement. So, Assistant Majority Leader Gonzalez Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I thought I would take this opportunity to just make this announcement on what to expect for this week with regards to supplemental members. So today, obviously, is going to be a normal Monday, if whatever your idea of normal is. On Tuesday morning, there will be the Appropriations Committee meeting at 8 a.m., and then following, upon adjournment of the floor, we'll have our public caucuses. So we'll leave here, go into our separate caucus meetings to go over supplementals. And then there will not be any morning committees, but there will be regular afternoon committees. And if you are planning on any amendments to the supplemental packages, those amendments are due by 4 p.m. tomorrow, Tuesday. On Wednesday, we'll have a second reading during our regular floor work for the supplemental packages. We will not have any committees upon adjournment, and then we will have regular afternoon committees. And then on Thursday, this is really exciting stuff, everybody. On Thursday, so I hope you're listening, so nobody come and ask me, what are we doing for supplementals? So on Thursday, we'll have third reading on supplementals, and then we'll have regular committees following that. Friday will be a normal Friday, hopefully.
Representative Froelich.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the theme of what is happening tomorrow, Transportation and Local Government will meet at 1:30. We will hear bills 1088, 1024, 1087, and 1097. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Froelich. So we're going to do introduction of bills real quick, and then we will come back together to recognize the passing of Pat Teagarden. Mr. Schiebel. Introduction of bills.
House Bill 1170 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Corrections.
House Bill 1170 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1171 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Education.
House Bill 1171 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1172 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the offices of the Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and State Planning and Budgeting.
House Bill 1172 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1173 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Healthcare Policy and Financing.
House Bill 1173 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1174 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Higher Education.
House Bill 1174 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1175 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Human Services.
House Bill 1175 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1176 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Judicial Department. Ooh.
House Bill 1176 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1177 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Natural Resources.
House Bill 1177 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1178 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Personnel.
House Bill 1178 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1175 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Public Health and Environment.
House Bill 1179 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1180 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Public Safety.
House Bill 1180 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1181 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of Revenue.
House Bill 1181 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1182 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of State.
House Bill 1182 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1183 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning a supplemental appropriation to the Department of the Treasury.
House Bill 1183 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations. 83.
House Bill 1184 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning funding for capital construction and making supplemental appropriations in connection therewith.
House Bill 1184 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1185 by Representative McCluskey and Senator Moreno concerning funding for capital construction, information technology, and making supplemental appropriations in connection therewith.
House Bill 1185 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1186 by Representatives Harrod and McCluskey, also Senators Hansen and Moreno, concerning adjustments to school funding for the 2021-22 budget year and in connection therewith making and reducing an appropriation.
House Bill 1186 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1187 by Representative Harrod and Senators Hansen and Rankin concerning extending statutory deadlines for COVID-19 relief programs within the Office of Economic Development.
House Bill 1187 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1188 by Representatives Harrod and McCluskey and Senators Moreno and Rankin concerning authorizing money in the ARPA account within the Healthcare Affordability and Sustainability Fee Cash Fund to be used for home and community-based services that are ineligible for federal match but otherwise authorized pursuant to the Federal American Rescue Plan Act of 2021.
House Bill 1188 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1190 by Representatives Harrod and McCluskey, also Senators Hansen and Moreno, concerning a supplemental state payment to urban Indian organizations to address healthcare disparities among the urban Indian community and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
House Bill 1190 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1189 by Representatives Harrod and McCluskey, also Senators Moreno and Rankin, concerning the extension of the deadlines for training for providers across the state in cross-system behavioral health crisis response and relates to persons with intellectual and developmental disabilities.
House Bill 1189 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1191 by Representatives Harrod and McCluskey, also Senators Moreno and Jaquez Lewis, concerning extending the date by which the Department of Healthcare Policy and Financing shall administer the reproductive health care program from January 1st, 2021 to July 1st, 2022.
House Bill 1191 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1192 by Representatives Harrod and McCluskey, also Senator Moreno, concerning the Colorado Opportunity Scholarship Initiative's Displaced Workers Grant and in connection therewith codifying the grant and extending a related existing appropriation.
House Bill 1192 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1193 by Representatives Harrod and McCluskey, also Senators Hansen and Rankin, concerning adjustments to expenditures from funds dedicated to assisting those impacted by the transition to a clean energy economy and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
House Bill 1193 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1194 by Representatives McCluskey and Ransom, also Senators Hansen and Rankin, concerning local firefighter safety resources provided through the local firefighter safety and disease prevention fund.
House Bill 1194 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1195 by Representatives Harrod and Ransom, also Senator Hansen, concerning transfers from the general fund to the capital construction fund.
House Bill 1195 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1196 by Representatives Harrod and Esgar, also Senators Moreno and Pedersen, concerning a study to evaluate pay equity across all state departments and in connection therewith making an appropriation.
House Bill 1196 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations.
House Bill 1197 by Representatives McCluskey and Sirota, also Senators Moreno and Buckner, concerning the effective date of the Department of Early Childhood and in connection therewith transferring money from the general fund to the capital construction fund information technology capital account and making an appropriation.
House Bill 1197 will be assigned to the Committee on Appropriations. Okay, that brings us back to announcements and introductions. The House will stand in a very brief recess. House will come back to order. Mr. Shebel, printing report.
Chief Clerk reports following
Printing
House
report will be
documents.
printed in the journal. House will stand in a brief recess. The House will come back to order. Mr. Shebel, committee reports of reference.
Committee on Public and Behavioral Health and Human Services, after consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following House Bill 1035 be amended as followed, and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation. After consideration on the merits, the committee recommends the following House Bill 1041 be amended as followed, and as so amended be referred to the Committee of the Whole with favorable recommendation.
House will stand in a brief recess. Oh, okay. The House will come back to order. And members, we're in announcements and introductions. Representative Gray and Minority Leader McKean.
Members, as many, if most of you know, we lost one of the great humans who worked in this building over the weekend. Pat Teagarden was the legislative liaison for the Colorado Department of Labor and Employment, but much more so than that, he was an amazing human being. I've talked to a lot of people over the weekend about it, and not a single person has been like, you know what, that Pat guy, I didn't like him. Not a single soul. And over the years that I've gotten to know him, he became much more than just a person I talked to here. I met him here, but my law firm worked out of the same building that the Department of Labor and Employment was in. And it started with us just like seeing each other in the hallway and saying hello, and became, hey, let's go grab lunch. Hey, let's go grab coffee. Let's go talk. And we talked about policy, and we talked about politics, and we talked about the State House, and then we started talking about life and humanity and family and children and what it's like. And there was a day not that long ago where I called Pat to talk about a bill you'll see eventually about implementing paid family leave. And Pat didn't call back. And after many years and hundreds of phone calls, Pat had never not called back before. And that's when I learned he was in the hospital. And as I heard more and more about like what he was going through, the situation got worse and worse. And I feared this moment. And it came to pass. We're going to prepare a proper tribute for Pat. And that's not going to be today. We need his friends and family members and anyone who wants to be here for that moment. But as somebody who made such a difference in this building, it seems appropriate to honor him right away as soon as we came back in. And with that, Mr. Speaker, I'd ask for a moment of silence.
A moment of silence is granted.
Thank you, members.
Minority Leader McKean.
Thank you. I got the word from the governor's office and was not just shocked, but alarmed, partly because you're right. There were a few issues that had come up in the last couple of weeks, and I hadn't heard back, and that was remarkably rare. And so I saw a lot of tributes on Facebook, and I told the caucus this morning that, you know, I sat around wondering how I would talk about him. There are rare people in this building that are true servants. And I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean, a lot of people are doing their own thing, and they're being the advocates for the things that they know and that they know that they're here to do. Pat was a servant. He was what you would wish in a civil servant. Someone who not only knows his job, but has a humanity about him that takes it well beyond that. That instead of lunches, it would be sitting in the cafeteria or sitting on a bench up here and talking about, you know, the problem, but then everything else. And there are a few people who penetrate to the degree of just being your friend, and being your friend in such a way that you completely know that they're going to handle what your concern is, what your problem is, but more importantly, they want to get back to you because they know it's bearing on you. That doesn't actually happen that often. And so to hear that news was tough. I think it was tough for all of you. You're right, we need everybody here, and we may need a bigger place because he touched a lot of lives. And so blessed would we be that our passing leaves others bereft because it's the vacuum of your friendship.
Thanks to both of you and members. I look forward to the tribute to honor Pat and to hear everyone else's thoughts about him as well. I know that the liaisons just walked in from the Senate. We just had our moment of silence, and we will have a tribute here soon to honor Pat. We hope you can join us then. We know what a big loss he was to your team. Thanks to all of you for what you do, and we look forward to celebrating his life with his family and friends over the tribute. See no further announcements and introductions. Assistant Majority Leader Gonzalez Gutierrez.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that the House stand in recess until later today.
See no objection. The House will stand in recess until later today.